is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Show preview. We are here for the Thursday 6-game main slate kicking off here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Phoenix versus Boston. Finishing up at 10 p.m. We got two 10 p.m. games. We got the Knicks and the Blazers and the Mavericks and the Thunder there to close out the slate. James, how you doing, man?
Ready to move on from Wednesday. It was terrible. The Raptors and the Pistons are very annoying, and I should have known better than to trust either of those teams with my money. So,
you didn't just randomly 28 minutes out of Cade Cunningham in that game?
0 fourth quarter minutes for Cade Cunningham. Grady Dick couldn't make a shot. Jonte Porter was popular and did everything.
Fontecchio didn't hit anything.
Fontecchio had negative fantasy points until he made it 3 with about 30 seconds left in the first half. So it was one of those days. Down, obviously, Luka as well. Kind of down day for Luka. Looks like we're not going to get a triple-double out of him. So nothing really going right, but the good thing about DFS is you get to lose money all over again the next day.
Or win money all over.
I'm just kidding. I'm completely kidding. We're going to turn the leaf and win money on.
We could be looking at a historic slate. As of right now, Daniel Gafford's 4 for 4 from the field.
Yes.
He is a perfect 3 for 3 away from tying the consecutive made field goal record of Wilt Chamberlain. So should he not attempt any additional shots, he'll have that opportunity to set, tie, and break that record here on the Thursday slate. So something to at least maybe pay attention to. But like you said, let's turn the page. We got 6 games here on the Thursday to look at. Kicking off again, as I mentioned here, Phoenix, Boston. Boston's at home, giving 4.5. Kristaps Porzingis already ruled out for this one. Jaylen Brown questionable. 229 total here. Clippers, Bulls. Bulls are getting 4.5 at home. 220.5 total that one. Washington, Houston. Houston giving 8.5 at home. 226.5. Philly, Milwaukee. Milwaukee giving 8.5. 222.5 total. Dallas versus the Thunder. Thunder giving 6.5. 239.5 total there. And then the Knicks and the Blazers. Blazers getting 8.5 at home. 210.5 game total there. When it comes to injuries on this slate, we obviously are paying attention to the Clippers here. James Harden, questionable. Kawhi Leonard, questionable after leaving the other night. So 2 big names for the Clippers, certainly to pay attention to. Mentioned the Celtics already. Kobe White ruled out already for this game, or at least ruled out for the rest of the Wednesday game. So
yeah, he left Thursday's game.
We'll see his status for this matchup here on the second night of a back-to-back. Obviously, the Portland guys are paying attention to. So could be an interesting slate once again for injuries. Obviously, with just 6 games here, smaller player pools, value, and all that good stuff to be found. Overall, top price plays on the slate. Luka's 12.7, Giannis 11.4, SGA 10.4. Your only guys up over $10,000, which brings us to the point guard position. Luka at 12.7, SGA at 10.4. Again, Luka coming down off of a little bit of a bad game here. Obviously, at any moment, it doesn't take long for him to turn it around. He's currently at 21, 3-8. With a whole quarter to go, we could finish this show and he could be at 35, 12, and 12, and we'd be like, oh, right, it's Luka Doncic here. So where are you when it comes to spending up at the point guard position?
I think this is going to be a slate that we potentially see Luka low-owned, given the matchup, or lower owned. He was 65% in the 27 single tonight. So sometimes it's like gets to the point where, okay, what if Jaylen Brown's ruled out, right? And then you have Tatum team to himself. And what if the Clippers guys are ruled out? You're like, oh, well, I want to jam Paul George because he's 8,300 team to himself. Van Vliet gets Washington. He's 83. Like, it feels like a slate that Luka would go under owned. So I definitely would have interest if that is the case. 12-7, not really scared off after a bad game, considering he had 6 straight 70 or 7 straight 70, whatever it was.
Straight triple doubles. So
yeah, no, but he also had a like 39, 12, and 9 that resulted in like 80 fantasy points the game prior.
Yeah.
So like it's just the fantasy score hadn't even 45, 14, and 9 was the game against Cleveland where he went for 87, no triple double. That was and then he started the streak. So perfectly fine getting to Luka, especially if we get ownership and he's a little low owned. Jalen Williams off the injury report. It's not that SGA won't shoot. Maybe we don't see 10 rebounds again, but really good spot for OKC. A little worried about Dallas on the back-to-back unless Luka and Kyrie can like be superheroes for them on like going into Oklahoma City. I think this is a very interesting spot for Brunson to maybe get bolstered back up to full capacity minutes. 29-32, didn't need to ramp up any further with that absolute routing of Philly. Just 27 minutes in that game, but 29-4, 42 fantasy points. I like the price coming down. So I like Brunson. Definitely can play Devin Booker sub 9K. We'll never forget his historic 70-point game against Boston when Phoenix wasn't any good.
Yeah.
James Harden, if he plays no Kawhi, could be interesting. Lillard tournaments, Maxey, really good spot tournaments. I think ultimately it's probably Van Vliet. That's the guy that you want outside of like the top two names. 39 minutes, 16 shots, home against Washington.
Şengün done for the year.
Şengün done for the year. We saw him do everything. I mean, 21, 7, 7, 2, and 2. You know, the blocks and steals, maybe not repeatable, but he averages 2 per game combined. So, I mean, you know, no reason not to get like start cash games with him in this spot against Washington team. And honestly, if you want to go there in tournaments as well, by all means.
Yeah, below him, I mean, there's Derek White, obviously Drew Holiday back, but no Porzingis, maybe no Jaylen Brown. Derek White's picked it up again in the last couple of games here. Now that he is 7K now, so price, DraftKings quick to recognize Derek White here. But if guys are out again, we already know Porzingis. If Jaylen Brown ends up being ruled out here too, 7K for Derek White, certainly a consideration.
Yeah, I think if Jaylen Brown is ruled out, I mean, I put out the tweet. We talked about it on the stream. I don't know how much more we had to say about how good Derek White is without Brown and Porzingis, right? Like Al Horford being back doesn't really impact that because like
at Al Horford giving you the same production.
I mean, dude, like Luke Kornet probably took more shots than Al Horford, like 7 shots. It's probably like on par with Horford, right? So like I don't know how many times we have to like tell you when guys are out, Derek White just immediately like almost priority number 1 because he's $3,000 less than Jason Tatum. So Derek par for the course again if Brown's out for Derek White.
Agreed. 6K range here. Tyus, DeSumo, and Caruso could be interesting if Kobe White's out. Caruso had a big day.
He did.
A big day on Wednesday.
He really did.
He really did. But both of those guys would obviously be super interesting. Giddey played 28 minutes against the Pacers, gave you 28 fantasy points there, $5,700. They started Hayward, but as you mentioned, Jalen Williams is back for the Thunder here, so I don't think that's going to happen. Delano Banton up to 5K. He started over Scoot.
Yes.
So that's something to note. We'll see how Portland handles the back-to-back rotation for them, but something to pay attention to there. What else are you looking at for the point guard position?
If there is no Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday would definitely be in play. 12 shots was good to see without Porzingis and Jaylen Brown. 16, 8, 5, 1, and 2. He's just like, yo, guys, I am good to go whenever you need me. And then they need him, and he's like, yo, remember I told you that? Point guard only, by the way, Drew Holiday. So 6,600. I think that's a good price. I wonder if the Scoot off the bench thing had to do with Jeremy Grant, just like wanting the punch off the bench. But then again, who knows? Maybe they just Chauncey saw what he did in the starting lineup and liked him better off the bench. Yeah. We'll see. At 5,200 is a pretty good price for Scoot Henderson. So I wouldn't like totally be opposed to that if Jeremy Grant was out. Same thing for Banton. If he starts, I'd be okay with both those guys. If guys are out for the Clippers, like Terrence Mann is whatever. I think if Harden's out, dude, Bones Highland, 4,100. I don't know if they would start him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did either.
You would
And
think there could at least be some more minutes if both Kawhi and Harden are out here.
yeah, I would have a hard time not prioritizing Bones, just considering he's back in the rotation. We know he's a high volume scorer, and like not even he's not efficient, but he shoots a ton when he's on the floor.
And
So
the good threes lately. Then he comes into a game against Chicago here potentially and with more minutes.
yep, coming off a game that Chicago had to play in overtime. Like
Right.
like it's tired legs for the Bulls. It would be all systems go for Bones if guys are out there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Moving on over to the shooting guard position, some guys we've obviously already discussed. If everybody's out, I mean, Paul George becomes probably an auto plug at $8,300. You would think a ceiling potential game for him. He's obviously had some big games, and he's had a lot of not so big games this season. If Jaylen Brown was in, would you pay the 79?
It's a really fun game. Jaylen Brown's been really good. So, like, I think I would. Paul George team to himself, I'd rank Paul George ahead of him.
Sure.
Jalen Green, I'd probably rank ahead of him. Love the minutes from Jalen Green. Just didn't make any of his shots, which we've talked about a lot. Great peripheral stats. No Şengün, 7 rebounds. But Brown would probably be next on that tier. I know.
Elephant in the room.
Dude, I mean, what a bum. Only 39 minutes. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean,
2019 and 10 for Josh Hart with Jalen Brunson. So,
revenge narrative.
I was gonna say he played for Portland, right?
He was traded, I think, from the Pelicans to the Trailblazers when they were terrible last year before. But he only played half a season there. I think he only played half a season and then went to the Knicks. I believe traded to the Knicks.
No, he spent 2 seasons there.
2 seasons there? Okay.
Well, I lied. I guess 2 years, but like 1 full year. Because he got traded for the Pelicans 2021, 2022, started last year with them, and then got traded to the Knicks. So
okay. So yeah, like
averaged 19 points a game for them, by the way, after being traded there by the Pelicans. So
I mean, dude, he's a very good basketball player that like is on a Knicks team that traded for OG and has Julius Randle playing 40 minutes under Thibodeau, right? But like, if you think about it, even when Randle comes back, they have to explore the Randle at the 5 situation because you just can't. Who do you take off the floor?
Yeah, what was OG's minutes in that game?
But 29. Also factor in they didn't play a fourth quarter.
Right.
Other than Josh Hart.
I was wondering, like, so Hart did that even with OG back.
Yes. And Hart also played 39 minutes in a game they were up 30. So just the minutes on Brunson, the minutes on DiVincenzo, the minutes on OG were all lower because of the blowout. Josh Hart just doesn't matter. He's just going to play what he's going to play.
Below them, you have Oubre here at 62. Talked already about Chicago guys. Caruso's at 55. DeSumo 59. Norm already playing minutes. $5,200 here against Chicago. If no Leonard and no Harden, I mean, it should be another really good opportunity for Norm Powell to score. Sam Hauser, if there's no Jaylen Brown, he's going to play. 34 minutes, back-to-back games at 30 fantasy points for him.
Such a tilt. I almost cursed there.
You deserve to curse there. I mean, the Celtics really screwed us there. They tweet out, official Twitter account, Peyton Pritchard, and then 10 minutes after the game is supposed to start, because the NBA does not start games on time, 10 minutes after the game is supposed to start, they tweet out an updated starting lineup, including Sam Hauser. Rosters are already locked. So you can't even move back to Sam Hauser there.
And you know what's funny? Like it's hilarious that 40% of the field said, Peyton Pritchard starting. Let's just hope Sam Hauser's good. Like I did the right thing, pivoting to Peyton Pritchard. I pivoted to the guy reportedly starting. And that's this week in a nutshell so far. That's this week in a nutshell. So.
I agree. Any other shooting guards for you?
I mean, Koulibaly played another 32 minutes. He's actually been super productive the last 2 games, 29, 26 fantasy points. The points have been good too. Double-digit points in 3 straight games. Rashawn Holmes listed questionable. That obviously helps his ceiling in terms of minutes. Dylan Brooks wasn't great the other day, but he fouled out. 6 for 11 shooting was good. He's $4,500. Not a lot of people are going to want to play Dylan Brooks, but there's a case to be made.
Who gets what's Beasley? Beasley's questionable. Pat Bev is probable. Would Beverly start if Beasley gets ruled out?
Him or Connaughton, probably. Right. That would probably be my guess.
3,600 Pat Bev versus Philly in a revenge game.
True.
Right?
Yeah, he's starting. Right? If there's no Beasley, it's Beasley.
That'd be kind of an interesting spot there for Beverly.
That would be an interesting spot. 3,600 is that's a good price for him starting.
Yeah. Small forward again, JT $9,800. Won't obviously argue against anybody playing. Coming off 51 fantasy points there against Utah. He had 56 against Phoenix in their game in Phoenix 2 games ago. Obviously, Boston's been better at home. So you certainly can run that out. Surprise to nobody. DeRozan lays an egg when we play him. Then tonight goes out there, has a monster effort. Now he's got the Clippers on a back-to-back at home at $8,200. Toby 74, Denny down to 69. What are your thoughts on the top half of the small forward position?
The Bulls are just the most hilarious team in the NBA.
Can't figure them out.
Dude, they are the most hilarious team in the NBA. DeRozan 46-9, 3-2-1, and hit that game-tying fadeaway, like contorting his body to put him into overtime. Great play design. Shout out Billy Donovan. But
46.
Did he 46 points?
I played him. He had 11. So
yeah. He had 46 points. We played him. He had 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So he doubled the points than he did. He doubled up points in minutes than minutes played the night before. I mean, if there's no Kawhi, like who's stopping DeMar DeRozan? I do like that this game is the second game on the slate. I will say that. I'm very happy that it's not a Clippers home game
10
here.
PM start.
Yeah, so we'll know pretty early. There's only one game. It's Phoenix Boston in the 7:30 window. So yeah, I mean DeRozan for sure. I would probably also get to Kawhi at 84. That's pretty cheap. That's the cheapest he's been in a little bit.
Sure.
Since January. So
I worry about the back spasms thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially how quick he just left. Like the report was like
he left the stadium.
Yeah, he just walked out.
I'm going home. I'm gonna finish watching this on my couch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he definitely didn't watch. You think Kawhi?
He definitely didn't watch it. He's like, I watched. He was uncomfortable sitting down, so he just went home.
But I just left and took a shower and probably started I don't know. He got some whatever robots do, and they
I was gonna say again the jacuzzi, but he was short circuited.
Yep. True.
All right, so Denny's there at 69. I do like Denny, $6,900. So I'm good. The minutes are just ridiculous for him. So Rashawn Holmes is questionable. So we will have to see about the Washington starting lineup in this one. But Denny should be in a good spot for some minutes here. Obviously, that it would impact Kispert as well. Do you play OG? I mean, dude, off the rip, 29 minutes. Guy missed 2 months, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. We've talked about this before. He's fine. I think that it was an elbow, right? So I'm sure the conditioning was fine. It's just but 6 for 11 with an elbow injury, and there's surgery and stuff to clean it up. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent little spot for OG to play.
Okay. Where else are you looking then? Obviously, since Portland, Tamani Kamara is 4,700. Maybe if he gets extra minutes here with Jeremy Grant out.
Yeah, Tamani Kamara if Grant's out.
Yeah,
because Grant's at the front end. Wondering if that's one of the situations where they sit Grant on the front end, play him on the back end. Because he just played the other day, big minutes. Kispert 54 as well. 36 minutes for Corey Kispert. Didn't miss shots because that's what he does when he gets opportunity. He has 22 actual in back-to-back games. So if there's no Rashawn Holmes, guess what? He's going to start and he's going to play 36 minutes. And Washington, dude, we've said they're just going to play these 5 guys like every minute. That's it. They're just playing them all
And
the minute.
Houston going Jabari like plays small. Kuzma certainly can match that sort of lineup build. So,
Yep.
does Hayward get any extra run here? They extended him. They started him. He played 30 minutes.
I have to think so. Dude, I've since the acquisition, Giddey's the odd man out here. Like come playoff series, I think Giddey's dead to right, and Hayward was pretty good the other night. Good defensively. The 30 minutes I think was obviously great. He's an extra playmaker. I mean, is he much different than Giddey as a playmaker? We've seen Gordon Hayward do this like kind of thing for years.
I think Giddey's more of a natural passer than Hayward is.
Better passer. Hayward is
He's a more polished offensive player for sure.
Which I think helps because they're sagging off Giddey and letting him shoot now. Which is like, okay, well now that doesn't help SGA when SGA wants to drive to the rim and stuff, right? So
here's an update that could impact this game. Luka Doncic to the locker room as we are currently.
Yeah, he has not played. He has not played since he's at 30 minutes. He checked out end of third and never returned.
And now he's in the locker room. So, second leg of a back-to-back for Dallas on the road. Could be looking at a no Luka night and maybe a Kyrie Exum, rotation or something.
Oh, dude, in OKC. I was already worried about them with Luka.
Yeah.
Oh, is that even, like OKC coming off a tough loss, getting Jalen Williams back?
Yeah. It'd be interesting because obviously there's some value on Dallas outside of won't return hamstring. Already ruled him out.
So are we done? Like Luka done? That's not a good sign for tomorrow, unless they're like preemptively ruling him out because they're like, all right, we're up 11.
I have to assume he doesn't play tomorrow. For the slate that we're recording for right now, the fact that he went to the locker room, they already ruled him out.
Instant rule out.
Right? That's usually not a good indicator for playing the next day when it's travel on the road. So
no, it's not.
Rewind quickly then. Like, where now does Kyrie Irving rank for you at $8,400?
I should say in the upper tier, and he's having like a really good game. He might triple double tonight, John. There's a chance that he triple doubles.
A solo Kyrie in other iterations is a 10K player.
Yeah, I'm not at all disputing it. Like he is per dollar one of the best plays on the slate. It's just back to back in OKC. And it's obviously not a far track. Like they're going from Texas to Oklahoma.
Yeah, Dallas, Oklahoma. Yeah. They probably drive it.
They like Kyrie in his car, probably like, or his hoverboard, whatever Kyrie believes.
Whatever he does. Yeah,
Kyrie doesn't believe in cars.
He's probably got one of those like motorized unicycles. Just like.
Anyways, he's literally, as we watch it live, there's 3 minutes left. He's 1 assist and 2 rebounds shy of a triple double.
Yeah,
basically playing. Luka didn't look good in the first half. Not just saying that because he didn't have a good first half. He just didn't looked a little
fatigued because they're playing him 43 minutes a night.
Could be triple
doubling,
and he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Kyrie. He would be one of the better. He would be one of the better plays on the slate.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you would probably throw him up there.
Who starts? Hardaway?
Yeah, him or Exum, right?
Yeah, that's true. They wanted to start Exum earlier in the year, and then they were like, "Nah, actually, we're not going to do that."
Yeah, him or Exum, both are cheap. Exum
36.
is Hardaway's 4K. Exum's 36. So
Exum is currently at 22 minutes. Tim Hardaway's at 14. And Exum's on the floor in the closing lineup. So
Exum, right?
Yeah.
$3,600 Exum immediately becomes one of the more popular plays on the slate at 6K. So we were talking small forward value. That's probably it, unless we get some more injury news.
I cannot. That was one of our that was one of the more live reactions we've had during these things.
Yeah, for sure. Power forward, you have Giannis at 11-4, KD at 9-5. We've talked Tatum a little bit already. I told you the other day against Sacramento, like Giannis would be one of my first plugs in, went for 53, 30, 13, 4, had no blocks, just one steal. Didn't really pay off the 11-5. I still think he's a playable guy on this slate, especially now that there's no like Luka, potentially no Luka. You're talking ceilings. Him and SGA and Durant and all them, they're 50s, 55, 60 fantasy point ceiling. So and all about your roster builds here.
Yeah, and he didn't play the fourth quarter in that game.
Yeah.
So he was well on his way to pure domination.
Agreed. Again, KD 95. You want to go there? Certainly can. Kuzma at 82.
KD's been on
KD's on another level.
Crazy stretch.
Went for 69 nice against Boston, and then they followed it up with a 59 against Cleveland. So
35 actual in four straight games. That makes you believe in Phoenix. Like when he's doing that, it makes you believe in Phoenix. I mean, it's like even in like a game where Kuzma like wasn't really, it was like very plodding, slow build. 40 like he just ends with 40 fantasy points, and you're like, oh, he got there again. 37 minutes, 18 shots, really good peripheral stats. Kuzma's starting center is just too hard to deal with for opposing teams. And again, it just reverts back to Washington not wanting to be the worst team in the NBA and playing all their guys. And they're playing them all big minutes. So yes, Kuzma 82. Kuzma 82 is I probably like per dollar. I mean, with anybody at that position, like Giannis and Durant have like higher ceilings, but Kuzma has been as consistent as anyone at this power forward position.
Yeah, for sure. Other guys in the mid tier, Jabari, Jalen Williams being back, as we mentioned. Anybody in particular for you?
Yeah, I think both those guys are fine. Jabari Smith did nothing in the first half of that game, did everything in the second half of that game. Jalen Williams, you have to be confident he's healthy. Not even on the injury report, right? So good enough to play full capacity minutes. Really good matchup for OKC. So if you want to get to either of those guys, I think both are fine.
Okay. Let's see. Value talk Kispert already. Kamara talked already. Small slate, not power forward, not really loaded with depth here. Anybody I'm missing that you're interested in?
Paul Reed.
Okay.
Another 27 fantasy points off the bench for Philly in a game that they again scored 79 points. So some Paul Reed I think is interesting. You mentioned Kamara. That's probably it. I get maybe Amir Coffey would start in a situation where Clippers are shorthanded.
Yeah, that's fine. Center position then. Luke 85, Ayton 77, Chet 72.
Good with all three. Love Ayton in tournaments. Love Chet at 72.
What about for value for you at the position?
Zubats is fine. He'll play mid-20s, mid to high 20s minutes. Gafford, 49, started, played solid minutes. Lively. And that's probably it.
Okay. Let's get a lineup going then. Where do you want to start here?
Kyrie?
Yeah, that makes sense. An Exum, I guess, right? Just
probably.
Take the value while he's there. $6,300 for the remaining positions. George, I guess, right? Just assuming one of those guys don't play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have no idea if they're gonna play. I assume they're in until they're not, but
okay. Well, where would you like to go? It's small forward here.
Kispert? Well, actually, I don't know. Rashawn Holmes is questionable. So
Norm? Or one of the Chicago Caruso? Right, Kobe White left tonight. Think Kobe White plays tomorrow?
No.
Oh, Caruso 55?
Yeah.
So $6,500 power forward.
Jabari.
Yeah, Jabari.
Or unless you want to play like Van Vliet or Green at guard. I mean, we could probably get.
I'd get them both in here. Yeah. Center position. What did Landale play? 25, 6 minutes, 4,600. Did you play them both?
Probably.
Right.
It was a weird game for Amen Thompson. So Gafford ended up playing 26 minutes in this game. He's 4,900. He had 7 blocks and 2 steals. 10-6, didn't miss a shot, and 9 blocks and steals combined. I would definitely play Daniel Gafford.
Okay. 7K then. You mentioned getting Van Vliet. He was 83, 6,500. We're just running it back with Josh Hart, $5,400. And you like Reed. That works. And if obviously if Holmes was ruled out, we can pivot to Kispert if you prefer that move, or Scoot or somebody like that. And if the Clippers guys are out, Norm Powell's right there at 52. So just an example lineup build for everybody here today. Irving, Exum, Caruso, Smith, Gafford, Van Vliet, Hart, and Reed. We'll have the playbook out for everybody. Get us in the Discord. Find us on Twitter. And we'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time to get you guys ready for the Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. start time on this NBA DFS slate. Till then, everybody, we'll talk to you later.